So they wanted the government to come clean whether the deal has been signed or not, and they're just covering the public's eyes. And this is already done because there was even talks about a committee that had been sent to India that was doing the negotiations. And that Senate committee also questioned how Adani had access to exclusive pictures of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, including the satellite areas.
Ikonini. So on Thursday kuna vile Aaron Cheriot, the Kericho senator, alikuwa anatishia both KTN na Nelson Amenya akisema kuwa malawyers wake wataenda po wamewa contact. Na the reason behind that was on Wednesday night kuna vile the whistleblower Nelson Amenya, the Adani whistleblower, alikuwa interviewed na Ken Mijungu na kuna vitu interesting kadhaa alisema.
Are you the one who shared these documents with politicians?
Yes, I'm the one who shared them. Nobody knew anything about this deal, even Senator Onyonka, except Aaron Cheriot, who is the broker in this deal, and he was actually the one who went to India.
How do you know? How do you put Aaron Cheriot's name as a broker? How do you know he was a broker? How do you ascertain that he was a broker in this deal?
Because he went to India and met Adani, and they're the ones who brought Adani to Kenya.
Is there a document in support of what you're saying tonight? That they met Adani and
document for that. There's no document for that because it's done in a clandestine way. It's like you heard about this CS who was caught with 200 million in Dubai, of course.
So meskia. So this was on Wednesday night. Then of course on Thursday kulikuwa na like a Senate sitting na walikuwa na bonga juu ya vitu kadhaa, and I guess Aaron Cheriot akapata chance ya kubaki amehit back. So wacha tusikie kile alisema, alafu ni try kukuambia kwa nini ama nikupatie thoughts zangu on what I feel about Aaron Cheriot, his character, and also if he can be involved in a trip that has nothing to do with him.
Don't you owe it to even your own colleagues just to clear the air? And that's all I wanted to do. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to put it on record that number one, I don't work for KAA. Number two, I don't work for the Ministry of Transport. I don't know on what condition somebody can allege that I brokered a deal between Kenya and another foreign entity, whose owner, agents, I have never met, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have worked extremely hard in my public life to protect my image. Those who know me and have worked with me long enough can speak to my integrity as a person, Mr. Speaker. I don't do those kind of things. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, even as a country, as we call for new levels of accountability, Mr. Speaker, doesn't it behoove us that we behave better than those that we accuse of committing certain ills? You cannot fight corruption, Mr. Speaker, by character assassinating other citizens of your republic.
So meskia vile amesema hatuwezi fight corruption tukicharacter assassinate others. So hii kitu inafanya lazima tujiulize, who do we think is telling the truth in such a situation? And for me, I'd go back to a few things. Nelson Amenya is the person who made us know about the Adani deal. Otherwise, we'd never have known. Unajua, hii kitu ilipitia through desk yake, akabaki amepiga photos, akaipost, and then tukaenda up tukijua. No journalist knew. Iwe pia vile umesikia vile Adani akisema, no politician, like even in the opposition knew. Ni kitu ilikuwa imekuwa chini ya maji kabisa. But Nelson ndiye alienda up amefanya tukajua hii story. So, kama alijua hii story, na so far ame-mention wase kadhaa. Ame-mention ule buda anaitwa Jayesh akabaki ameishia kotini, akasema asimenshoniwe tena. Then apart from yeye, aka-mention Murkomen haja-react so far. Alafu apart from Murkomen sasa, ame-mention Cheriot. So ikikam to Cheriot, kuna swali lazima sasa mtu kama mimi najiuliza. Because in May this year, mimi na a few creators, okay, Butita alikuwa hapo, na Kate the actress, Vivian pia alikuwa hapo, tulijipata Masai za Atlanta, na tukiwa Atlanta tukaenda tukivisit studio ya something Perry, Tyler Perry, yes. So kuvisitio studio Tyler Perry, mi personally trip yangu nishambia gasi ilikuwa sponsored na IKONINI funds na pia Linebet. So haikuwa taxpayers. But sasa nakumbuka nikiwa kwa hiyo studio nikiona taxpayers money being used. And a few of the people that I saw there had no business being in Atlanta. And who is one of the people I saw there? Aaron Cheriot. You have to ask yourself, ushaonaga Aaron Cheriot ukafikiria juu ya creative arts? Ushaonaga Aaron Cheriot ukafikiria juu ya music ama ukafikiria juu ya film? So what was he doing there? The only reason he was there is he's one of the president's men. Najua, in quotes. The president's men ni wale like the president's closest confidants. So apart from Aaron Cheriot, because the president Vilona Cheki, you can notice the hint of tribalism in hizi stories zake. So apart from Aaron Cheriot, another person the president trusts ni Murkomen. Apart from Murkomen, mtu mwingine president anatrust ni Davis Chirchir. Apart from Chirchir, mtu mwingine anatrust ni Sudi. Nacheki. So these are the president's men. Alafu apart from Sudi pia kuna kuganule mse vitu wako Fazula ama itagwa nani ama. Kuna mse pia fulani wagana anatrust anakuagana jina ya Kiislamu. I'll have to check his name. So those are the president's men. And this deal, deal ya Adani, has the president written all over it. And the reason why I'm saying this deal has the president written all over it ni, if you go and check a few headlines, unizabaki go to November 14th. So on November 14th last year, kulikuwa na headline, Transport CS blames Uhuru government for leaking JKIA roof. So last year, roof ikaanza kuleak. This is around November. Tukaanza kuchoma picha. Then what happened in November? On December 4th, ikakuwa President Ruto embarks on a 2-day visit to India. Remember kitu nilisema? This year, in May, Ruto alitravel. Na vile Ruto alitravel to Tyler Perry Studios, where even Tyler Perry did not have time for him because it made no sense for a president to go on such a trip. And to go to visit a film studio. Ushasikia Ruto akisema tunatry kubuild film studio hapa Kenya? No. So what was he going to do there? Hakukuwa na reason. But the president traveled to Atlanta. And who was there? Aaron Cheriot. So what's the probability that when the president traveled last year to India, Aaron Cheriot was there? Alafu kumbuka kitu pia nilisema. Narendra Modi, the prime minister wa India, ni personal friends na Adani. Because wanatoka the same area itwa Gujarati. So since wanatoka the same area, unacheki hiyo design ya like we kuja tufanye biashara, nimepata mafala kutoka Kenya, kuja tuingize box chap chap. Of course, since they are looking out for India's interests, they'll put their country first. Of course, alafu sisi on the other side, we never put the country first. We have individuals who put themselves first. So hizi selfish interests ilitufikisha wapi? Like around February hivi, unakumbukaga like ile time umsaitwa Larimado alianzaga kupost juu ya the leaking roof at JKIA, na tuko tunashindwa hii roof ina leak aje na tumeshindwa aje kuirepair. Nakumbuka like sisi kwa IKONINI podcast, nakumbuka like one of the weekend updates, mimi RAPCHA Ian, nakumbuka nikiambia wase vile mimi nikipata hiyo contract siwezi shindwa kustop hiyo mvua, because kwa nasema even as an African, if there is something that we know how to use ni grass. And we have a lot of grass thatched roofs like in a lot of rural areas hapa Kenya, na hakuna mvua wingia. So nilikuwa nasema hapo tu JKIA, kwa nini tusiende tuweke nyasi tujue hiyo part nini kunanyesha, itabaki imestop mvua. But one of the things I've come to learn, najua vile usemaga like hindsight, nimekam to learn that this was well planned, that the government wanted us to see that JKIA is doing so badly that we need help. That's why we mwenye jiulize, tulishindwaje kurepair roof? Na kwa nakumbuka at every time Larimado alikuwa na post, gava ilikuwa ina fight back, we are trying our best, wana blame Uhuru, wana try kuonyesha vile like it's a helpless situation. And the funny thing is, around the same time pia like another headline ile ilitokeaga, ilikuwa ile headline ilikuwa inasema the leaking roof. Hii headline ilikuwa ya majuzi, but ilitokea kasema leaking roof at JKIA that cost 175 million shillings. So for 175 million shillings, we were still not able to solve the leaking roof. Kumekuwa na reports that I think even over $1 billion has been spent on hizo repairs. Na jawai, we mwenye jiulize as a random Kenyan, nikikuonyesha maji na leak pale na nikupatie 10 million shillings, utashindwa? Watu utengenezaga a whole house na 10 million shillings. Msanaitwa Kenneth Okoth alitengenezaga a whole school with a sewerage system na 43 million. Kurepair roof itakushinda ukitumia 175 million. So this thing was planned vizuri kabisa. Gava ilikuwa nataka tuone airport has been taken over, yani airport imetushinda, we need help, and this is the time that the Adani deal ikaanza kusetiwa. Ndio nacheki like Murkomen alikuwa na make sure ana engage Larry Madowo, because if you engage Larry hiyo word ina spread vizuri kabisa. Now walikuwa wanajua by the time wanaduida Adani deal, si wenyewe tungekuwa very happy, tuko like yenyewe tumeshindwa, sisi kama Waafrika ni wajinga, kuna kitu tunaweza fanya peke yetu, we always need outside help, and then blah blah blah, your outside help ingebaki imekuja. So this is where I think that Adani deal ilikuwa inaenda kuiva na ikabaki imeiva. But sasa one thing ile lazima tujiulize ni hata kabla tuendelee na story za Adani, nataka to go back to kitu Aaron Cheruiyot alisema, ile nilifindikiwa very disturbing. Na one of the things alisema ni alikuwa na blame KTN for having the interview. Anasema that hakuna vile KTN editorial policy yao inafaa kuwa, if someone says something that's defamatory, they are supposed to stop and then wabaki wasensa alafu ndio baki imeenda. And this amounts to like infringing on the freedom of information. Unajua? So wacha tusikie.
That gentleman, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to put it straight to him that my lawyers will be reaching out to him. I have a name to protect, Mr. Speaker. It is in the interest of this House, Mr. Speaker, that they know that they are majority leader. That's why, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues who are here know that this matter has been on the floor of this House for quite a while. I have not spoken to a single person asking them to either consider that matter this or the other way, because I respect the business of this House, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I also ask myself, what happened to our media stations? If you go to the editorial policy of the BBC, you will read, Mr. Speaker, that they delay even their live broadcast, Mr. Speaker, so that in case somebody was to either malign somebody or say information which they cannot prove at that particular time, Mr. Speaker, it is regulated and edited out. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, even as I seek for justice for my name, Mr. Speaker, the media house that was used as well to soil my name will equally have to give an account. Mr. Speaker, I will be bringing a statement to this House on Tuesday on a personal matter, but in the meantime, even before that particular Tuesday, my lawyers will be reaching out to those particular people.
So umesikia, so anasema malawyers wake watakuwa reach out to KTN, na crime ya KTN is the fact that they did not censor your part. But swali ni, this was a live transmission. So according to him, we are supposed to delay live transmissions so that just in case something is said that cannot be proven, then go live. That would mean that the president would never go live, because the president is always lying, and we know he's lying. Everything that he says cannot be proven. Unajua? So does that mean that the president... So hii ni kutry kutishia media na kuambia media hatutafurahia mkisema negative stuff about sisi. Because another sad thing, ama another sad reality that mse kama Aaron Cheruiyot anafaa kudeal nayo ni the fact that anyone who's associated with the president is assumed to be corrupt. And the reason why that is because a lot of Kenyans think the president is corrupt. You see? And apart from thinking that the president is corrupt, they think the president is a liar. So if you're a friend of the president, people will automatically think you're corrupt, and number two, you're a liar. And vile nimetoka kupatia na hiyo trip yake Atlanta, inaonyesha he's one of those close president friends. So he has to know that until he's proven innocent, in the court of public opinion, he is looked at negatively. So hii kitu Amenya amesema, haijashtua wase. It's not like something that has blown our minds and we're like, oh, damn, this guy maybe he's not as straight as we think he is. When we look at the president's men, we always look at them negatively and then we start going positively. Maybe. But hii kitu yote, kitu anaweza fanya kujiprove ni vile tu Amenya alimwambia, just produce your passport, utuonyeshe, I've not been to India. Because even the whatever, December trip, you should not have been there. The May trip, you should not have been there, May trip this year. But if you went November last year, you went to India, and we know that Modi na Nani na Adani ni mabesi, and that's how Kenya got itself into this mess, because of course Modi and Adani knew that we have greedy politicians in Kenya and we have a greedy president. That's how we got ourselves into this whole mess. But now, talking of Adani, I always love talking about Adani because it's just one of those companies that the more you research about it, the more you just start laughing. So of course niliwachanua jua vile Adani walibaki wameingiza Bangladesh into shida mingi kabisa, mpaka Bangladesh saizi like the new acting president anasema wanatrai kujitoa kwa deal na Adani. But apart from that, kuna country ingine ndio just next ndio Sri Lanka pia walisainigi a deal na Adani, na saizi they are nearing their elections, na of course Adani is making headlines kama kawa.
Now, media reports show that the Sri Lankan party has promised that if it wins the next presidential election, it will halt the Adani Group's wind power project in the country. Now, according to reports, Vimukti Premuna party said that the Adani project was a direct challenge to the sovereignty of the island nation's energy sector. The Adani Group was to invest over $440 million into the 20-year deal to develop 484 megawatts of wind power. Allow me to correct myself, that's 448. In a political chat show, JVP leader Anura Kumara Dissanayake, who is running for president on the National People's Power ticket, said that the project will be cancelled if he is elected. When asked whether the project may compromise the island nation's control over its energy sector, he said, yes, we will definitely cancel it as it threatens our energy sovereignty.
It threatens our energy sovereignty. And that's what we are doing here in Kenya. We've heard about the Adani situation going wrong in Bangladesh. Tumesikia Adani going wrong in Sri Lanka, because the president gets more information than mimi. As hizi stories mo ufanyaga nikiwa solo, kasa hizi naifanya ni saa 8 usiku, naifanya just through individual research. It's not a team. The government has a team. So the government knows that Adani is messing up Sri Lanka, messing up Bangladesh, and even messing up in India. They also know that the only reason why Adani is getting deals in India because Modi na Adani are personal friends. So for them to still push this deal just shows you that this deal is going to make a lot of people rich. And the interesting thing is, if you've been watching news, you may notice that ever since opposition joined Gava, like one of the biggest supporters wa Adani saizi ni Opiyo Wandayi. Kumbuka Opiyo Wandayi, when he was the minority leader, do you think he'd have supported this? So what does this show? This shows that there's a lot of money to be made. And mse kama Opiyo ameambiwa like you can make money that's beyond your wildest dreams. So right now ameingia hiyo side. So if this Adani deal, because I think it's going to go through, and I think it's already gone through, I think everything is signed. Saizi all they're doing is just trying to pacify us and think of another plan of how they're going to deal with us if tukijaribu ku protest. But I think the Adani deal is just going to make Ruto richer. It's going to make, of course, Murkomen alikuwa hapo ikianza, so he's going to have to get richer, Chirchir richer, who else? Kama huyu Cheriot yende alisign atakuwa richer, alafu of course hizo Opiyo Wandayi pia ameingia kwa hiyo story. All of these guys are going to get richer, but the country is going to suffer. That's why they are looking at these ridiculous deals of 30 years, 20 years. Like, who knows if they are going to be here in 30 years? Ajua. Let's be realistic. 30 years. Yeah? Even hata mtoi mdogo ajui kama atakuwa around in 30 years. Politicians who are already over 50, watakuwa in their 80s that time, wanahepesha 90s. What's the probability you'll be around? It's very low. You should not be signing deals that the country is saying, no, we don't want these deals. So if you're insisting, you must be insisting on a personal level. Adani is a company that's dirty. Like, this is a dirty company. Every headline that they make is a headline that's dirty. And the only reason they are dealing with Kenyan politicians is because Kenyan politicians are dirty as fuck. IKONINI.